Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the great riding in York South Weston. My name is Michael Ford, and I'm the Member of Provincial Parliament for the riding in York South Weston, as well as honored to serve as Ontario's Minister of Citizenship and Multiculturalism. It is an honor and a privilege to be here today for this important announcement alongside my Ontario PC caucus colleague, Minister Prabmeet Sarkaria. I also want to recognize Yvan Baker, Member of Parliament for Etobicoke Centre, as well as Mayor Chow and leaders from Metrolinx and Infrastructure Ontario for joining us, as well as two of my former colleagues on Toronto City Council, Councillor Francis Nunziana and Stephen Holiday. Today's announcement is yet another important milestone in our government's efforts to build the Eglinton Crosstown West extension. Our government remains focused on pushing ahead with the critical transit projects Ontarians need and deserve, and are making great progress in tunneling the Eglinton West extension. Once completed, the extension will bring much-needed east-west transit to my constituents here in York South Weston and to neighboring communities along Eglinton Avenue that have been historically underserved when it comes to transit. It will help thousands stay connected to friends and family, while also enabling them to access new opportunities in the West End and right across the City of Toronto. With that said, I would like to thank you all for once again joining us here today. It is now my pleasure to bring to the podium Yvan Baker, MP for Etobicoke Centre, to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Ford. It's an honor to be here with all of you here today. My name is Yvan Baker. I'm the Member of Parliament for Etobicoke Centre, the riding just to the west of us here. And I bring you greetings on behalf of Minister Ahmed Hussein, who's the MP for York South Weston, and all of my MP colleagues in the City of Toronto. And it's a pleasure to be here with Ministers Ford and Sarkaria, with our Mayor, Mayor Chow, and with Councillors Stephen Holiday and Francis Nunziana. This is a great day for Toronto, and it's a great day for Etobicoke. We are standing here not far from Eglinton Avenue, just east of the Humber River. Eglinton is a thoroughfare for tens of thousands of people who commute every day. To the west of us is my riding of Etobicoke Centre, with cross streets like Kipling and Islington, Martin Grove, and the 427, connections to the 401, to the Airport Corporate Centre, to Pearson Airport, and to Mississauga Transit. To the east of us is the beginning of the Eglinton Crosstown, which takes us east and has connections to GO Transit, to the TTC, and to the rest of the City of Toronto. So the bottom line is that we're in a place where tens of thousands of people commute every day, where hundreds of thousands of people live. We're close to the largest airport in the country. We're close to a place where hundreds of thousands of people commute and work every day, and we're near higher order transit. So what we need here is more mass transit to connect people from Etobicoke, from Toronto, and other parts of the city to all these places. That's why, since 2015, I and many others fought for the tunneling of the Eglinton Crosstown West extension and worked to secure the funding to make that possible. Then we advocated with the federal government to ensure that that funding was made possible, and a couple of years ago, we did just that. The federal government announced that it would provide almost $1.9 billion in funding for the Eglinton Crosstown West extension. And now, construction has been underway for some time, as well as the tunneling. So today I'm proud to join my colleagues as we launch the request for qualifications for the design and construction of the Eglinton Crosstown West Extension stations. This is an important milestone for our city and an important milestone for this project. This project is going to have an important impact for people in this region and across our city. The Eglinton Crosstown West Extension will improve the quality of life of people in my community in Etobicoke and across our city in a number of ways. It'll provide fast and reliable public transit. It'll reduce congestion and commute times. It'll connect people to the rest of the GTA while supporting our economy, reducing emissions, and helping to make life more affordable. The federal funding that's been provided for this project is a small part of an overall commitment of funding that the federal government has made to projects in Toronto, and specifically transit projects in Toronto. On public transit alone, we have committed $8.5 billion for large new capital projects like this one. So today's announcement is an important step in the construction of the Eglinton Crosstown West extension. It's great news for Toronto, and it's great news for Etobicoke. Thank you very much. And with that, I'd like to pass it on to Minister Sarkaria to say a few words.
Thank you very much, MP Baker, and thank you to all for being here today. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with my colleague, Minister Ford, who is actually also celebrating his birthday today. So I want to wish him a very happy birthday. He's an incredibly hardworking member of provincial parliament. And I also want to welcome Councillors Holiday and Nunziata, and of course Mayor Chow as well. And as many of you know, since the last year, we have reached a historic deal with the City of Toronto to transform the city, including the purchasing of 55 new subway trains for the TTC's Line 2, the increased funding for officer presence on and near transit operations, and new funding for the Eglinton Crosstown LRT and the Finch West LRT. And I really do want to take an opportunity to recognize Mayor Chow and her willingness to meet us at the table and find common ground on issues for the people of Toronto that have helped us get this deal done. I'd also like to recognize Metrolinx's CEO Phil Verster, Infrastructure Ontario Senior Vice President Chris Phillips, who are also here with us today and have been doing an incredible job building this province. Since day one, Premier Ford and our government have been focused on building a better public transit system for the people of Ontario. A transit system that gets riders where they need to go, when they need to go there, so they can spend less time waiting and more time doing what they want, which is spending time with family, friends, and loved ones. Across the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area, we're investing billions of dollars in transforming public transit, including right here in Toronto, where shovels are already in the ground to build new subways like the Eglinton Crosstown West extension. Once complete, the ECWE will bring Eglinton Crosstown LRT another 9.2 kilometers further west, creating a continuous, rapid transit line from the east end of Toronto through the heart of the city and into Mississauga, with an estimated 70,000 rides expected every single day. The ECWE will help save commuters up to 24 minutes a trip, more than 3/4 of an hour a day. And as part of this project, we'll be building 7 new stations, bringing 37,000 more people within walking distance of public transit and making life that much easier for riders in Toronto and Mississauga. Today, I'm proud to announce that our government is taking another step forward to build the Eglinton Crosstown West extension, and that we are starting the procurement for the station, rail, and systems contract for the Eglinton Crosstown West extension. This contract will cover the design and construction of all 7 stations along the line, including architectural, structural, mechanical, and electrical work, fitting of the tunnels and elevated guideway with track and signals, installing fare collection systems, and much more. And perhaps more importantly, the modifications at Mount Dennis Station to connect the ECWE to the existing Eglinton Crosstown LRT. Beside me, as you have seen earlier, you'll see initial designs for 7 of the 7 new stations, and as we prepare for the final major contract to deliver this line. Our government knows transit keeps people moving and is a key driver of economic growth, connecting people not only to jobs, but also to friends and family, medical appointments, school, and so much more. And as we build Ontario for the future, we're using every lever at our disposal to get priority transit projects built as quickly as possible. As Toronto's population continues to grow, we cannot afford not to continue to invest in critical infrastructure that the future generations will rely on. Today is a historic next step on that mission. And with that, I want to thank everyone and pass it over to Mayor Chow to talk about what this announcement means for the people of Toronto. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's exciting. Thank you, Minister. It is truly an honor to be here, surrounded by these brand new Metrolinx LRT trains. And It's great to be here with you, Minister, Provincial Member of Parliament Michael Ford, and MP Yvan Baker, Chris Phillips, Senior Vice President of Infrastructure Ontario, and of course Metrolink CEO Phil Vesta. Now, Etobicoke is definitely well represented today with Councillors Steve Holliday and Francis Nunziata joining us as well. Every day, hundreds of thousands of people rely on public transit to get to work, to school, run errands, or see family and friends. They deserve public transit that is reliable, convenient, affordable, and safe. Transit that touches all corners of the city, and that makes people's day-to-day lives easier. When public transit is working well, life is more affordable. More people can choose to leave their cars at home. It becomes less expensive to get around our city. And of course, it reduces the congestions on our road. We are very grateful for the Provincial New Deal, because what that means is that we are able to take some of the funds from the province to both help build and order subway cars, and also able to help with the operating costs of TTC. As a result, we are increasing transit service and reducing wait times. As we work our way back to the pre-pandemic service levels. We hired more staff in stations to help riders, better customer services, and be the eyes and ears on the platform to provide safe travel. We've also froze the TTC fares to make it affordable to everyone. And with the provincial One Pass, One program, it means that people can take public transit, whether it's GO Train or TTC, or if they're coming from Mississauga, it is just one pass and one metro. The Presto will work right through. And that saves a lot of money for transit riders, and it's more convenient. Now, today's announcement is another sign of progress in delivering good, reliable transit in places where it's needed most. Because people in Etobicoke and across the city shouldn't lose their precious hours stuck in traffic. They should have a choice. By starting the work to extend the LRT West, we are giving people in Etobicoke more options to get around, more choices to commute to school or work or run errands, and ease the congestion by getting more cars off the road. Thousands and thousands of Torontonians are going to benefit. When all levels of government work together, we can get things moving. How we can get transit in this city back on track. And I'm excited about that. The station designs that you've seen, the 7 rendering looks amazing. I hope that soon we can have thousands of people filling up these stations on their way to school, work, or just ready to explore everything this wonderful part of the city has to offer, especially Mount Dennis. So thank you, and thank you to both the federal and the provincial government for the contribution to make this happen. And now I will pass it back to the Minister for questions. Minister? Questions to whoever.
We'll now take questions from the media. If reporters could line up at the microphone behind me, please identify yourself by name and outlet, and it will be one question, one follow-up. First question.
Hi there, Shalima Maharaj. I'm with Global News. I just want to start off by talking about, obviously, we've talked about the positives of this project and the need to be able to provide commuters in the West End with options, but we've also done a number of stories about skilled trade shortages. How confident are you that we are actually going to be able to get this project done on time when the first leg of the Crosstown LRT notoriously has been faced by so many problems?
Thank you for that question. And look, we've learned from previous projects. We've got shovels in the ground on this project already. We've completed almost 5 kilometers of tunneling on this line as well. We know skills shortages are a challenge across many professions, but our government has invested significantly on skilled training. My colleague Minister Pacini has worked with many of our union leaders and many others, almost $200 million in the Skills Trade Fund every single year to help support the next generation of workers. But what's important to see now is we've also adopted new measures in how we procure these projects across the province, and we've looked to the world and see what they've done. We've innovated. That's why we've been able to get shovels in the ground in almost every single one of our projects, whether it is the Eglinton West Crosstown, the Scarborough Subway Extension, the Ontario Line. We've taken our learnings and we've really gotten off to building these projects much quicker and more efficiently. And so as we expand upon the $70 billion that we're investing over the next 10 years, we'll continue to ensure that we're building this province and connecting people to the world-class transit that they need.
My follow-up question is this: that we still are without an opening day for that first leg, the one that people have been waiting so patiently for now for several years. So bearing all of that in mind, should we even be moving forward with, additional track work here when we still have yet to get that first bit of work done?
Well, look, our government has taken a position of building transit across this province. You look across the world, you look across North America, there is no government that is investing more in public transit than the one under Premier Doug Ford. That's $70 billion, multiple projects. And like I've said, sure, there have been challenges. As you build a city, there are going to be challenges, but we're going to learn from them, and we have. And the result of that is projects that you see here today. The West Extension with shovels in the ground, almost 5+ kilometers of tunneling already done. Look at the Ontario Line. We've got shovels in the ground on that. The Scarborough Subway Extension, which we were just visiting last week as well, tunneling well underway there as well. So as we build these LRTs, as we build these public transit projects across this province, we know we need to do this. We know we need to make these investments because for far too long, transit was ignored in this province, and it's been our government that has been committed to ensuring that those shovels get in the ground. As gridlock continues to increase in this province, as population continues to increase in this province, the time is now to invest, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Clara Pasica, CBC. So whoever feels most comfortable answering this one, I think some people at home, they might be watching this and they might find it a little bit confusing. They might see there's already some tunneling happening sort of on the line. Maybe if you can just explain, and as clearly as you can for a very ordinary person, what exactly is happening now that's different than what they've sort of already been seeing.
Yeah, so that's a great question, and so what you've basically seen is a new approach to construction in our transit projects across Ontario. This specifically being one of those where you've separated the contract, so the tunneling part of the contract, as you've seen, is well underway already. This is the next phase of that, which you see behind us is construction and design of the stations, of the rails that are going to be on it, the signaling system. All of those components are now being procured as well. So we got off to, we wanted to build these transit projects quicker, faster, get shovels in the ground. So we did the initial procurement on the tunneling first because we needed to see that progress. And now we're also moving forward with the next steps of that. So this is about making sure we get tunnels dug up, we get the shovels in the ground faster. And this is exactly the process that you have seen playing out here. So this is a significant part of that project. This is not how transit has always been built in this province, but this is the innovation that our team through the government and the Metrolinx and Phil and his team have been deploying to ensure that we are able to deliver world-class transit projects across this province. And we're seeing the result of that right here today.
So people are also watching this press conference, maybe deciding choices for their family, where they're going to live, maybe somewhere along this line. Can you tell people how much the extension is going to cost and when it will be completed, the extension?
Well, yeah, this is going to be a 9.2 kilometer extension. As I said, we're going to bring 37,000 new people within walking distance of public transit with this new project. As part of every project, we procure it to the market. We work with those individuals who bid on the project, and ultimately we will deliver a world-class transit line right here in Toronto that the people of both Etobicoke, Scarborough, and even Mississauga will get to use. So this is part of our government's $70 billion plan, investing over the next 10 years on public transit. We've spent $1.9 billion on this project already, and we'll continue to this, to the new projects that we're procuring now to work with the market and our partners and stakeholders to ensure that it gets built and we can deliver that world-class and reliable transit for the users of Toronto.
So again, the question was, when is it going to be and how much is it going to cost? Do you have an estimate there? Just because you didn't answer the question at all, so I think it's fair to have followed up with that.
Well, look, as every transit project we have in this province, we procure it to the market and we work with our stakeholders and we work with the market as those and as that province, as that process and the RFQ, as we have going out to today happens and works out, we will continue to work towards that and keep those informed. So this is just like every other transit project that works, and that's how we work through it. And it's a part of our $70 billion plan over the next 10 years to do so.
This is a question for the minister as well. The first part of this Eglinton Crosstown, it came under some criticism for not incorporating development as part of the new stations, given, and a lot of people saw that as a missed opportunity given the housing crisis in the province right now. Will this procurement for Eglinton West, will it include any requirement that development be part of these stations?
We're working, my colleague Minister Surma is working on the transit-oriented communities file. We like to encourage development across transit lines as we have on many of other projects with respect to the Ontario line and some of our other projects, GO line projects as well. So we'll continue to work with the communities, with the city, as we have collective responsibilities on building housing, and my colleague Minister Calandra as well. So we'll absolutely look at opportunities in which that could be utilized as well through the transit-oriented communities project.
And a question for the mayor. On a transit-related note, the contract with the TTC's main union expires in 6 days, I believe. This time going into negotiations for the first time in a long time, they'll have the right to strike. Do you anticipate that those negotiations will be tougher than normal? What do you expect out of that? And should we be prepared for a strike?
I welcome the opportunity to work between the city and the people that every day move millions of people. They make our city move, and they are the ones, the transit workers are the one that prove that TDC is the better way. I know the negotiation is about to start, and our staff is ready, and I am sure the ATU 113 are ready to represent their workers, and there will be a lot of conversation, and there will be a lot of probably give and take. And it's important that people that serve the city well by being a transit workers are compensated. It's also, we do have fiscal difficulties in the City of Toronto, so I'm sure that we'll be able to move forward together.
This will be the last reporter.
Hi there, Alex Bloomfield with 680 News Radio Toronto. CEO Verster, this is probably for you. I think we'd be remiss to ask for what you can say today about the main Crosstown LRT line. What can you say about the progress toward completion, the remaining hurdles since you last spoke a few months ago?
Thank you very much. I really welcome the opportunity to respond to that question, but I welcome even more an opportunity to give you a progress update on Crosstown. So first of all of the major construction is now complete, and in some of our stations there's still sort of smaller work such as replacing broken tiles and water leakage, and on Eglinton, for example, some of the bike lanes are being finalized. The system integration tests, which have always been the most critical consideration for us, which really is the critical path, was 15% complete when I saw you last at the media technical meeting in December. It's now just over 50% complete, which is a lot of progress in the 3 months that we've had. What concerns me most, though, is the software defects in the signaling and train control system and the rectification of those defects by CTS and Alstom. They're making good progress with it, but it's not as fast as we would like it to be. From as late as last week, release 6 of the software was tested, started to be tested. It'll fix some of the defects, but release 7 is already planned for June. And what's really important about the signaling and train control system is really the nerve center of moving trains punctually and on time, as well as safely. And so it's really critical that that system works well. So once that system is stabilized, we've got 20 TTC trainers that'll be trained, and after that, there's 90 operators for TTC that'll follow in 3 groups to then be trained as well. That gives us a lot of progress towards what we call revenue service demonstration, which is a period of a month before we go into a bedding-in period and into customer service. Now, what's really important as well, progress that's been made, is there's 41 occupancy certificates that we need across the whole of the route, and 36 of those are now awarded. Latest ones that were included in that is Kennedy Avenue and Cedarvale. One of the biggest ones that's outstanding is clearly Eglinton Station itself. This facility nearly has its occupancy permit. There's a few deficiency works that must be resolved, and this one will also be in place. So the second biggest thing that concerned me, which is a lot of effort is going into by all of the teams, is the construction certificates. On our update, we showed you 5 work streams, and this is one of the key work streams that actually certifies that the project has been designed right, built right, delivered right, and tested right. So we've got one of the 46 construction certificates at this stage. Clearly, there's a lot of them, others in flight, but this must be completed on time. So the schedule is moving forward relentlessly. And once we are within 3 months of an opening date, we'll declare that date.
Just on the west part of the extension here, it might be for you as well, or anyone else who wants to chime in. How much tunneling exactly is left on that stage? It's been said a couple times, 5 kilometers is done. How much is left, and what exactly is the timeline for finishing that stage to totally be done with that step?
It's our expectations that the tunneling, which is now back and moving forward, will complete middle to back end of April, with the first tunnel boring machine breaking through into the extraction shaft, and then the second tunnel boring machine a couple of weeks later. So we're very close. And to the other question, there are 4 big contracts, as the Minister said. This is contract number 4, and we're very excited about this contract. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.